Record. All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Live the Fuel show. So today we're bringing on count them, two co-hosts from the West Coast. And this is none of these wonderful connections I met up in San Diego. This young lady I met actually at the Thrive event. So for those of you who are regular listeners of the show, we've had on a number of Thrive-related co-hosts, and she decided to bring on a friend. So today we're catching up with, I don't know how to really describe everything that she does. We're going to talk more about this on the show, but the girl can move. And when I talk about mobility and dance and just impressive movement of the human body, you guys are going to learn more about that today from our co-host, Randi Strong of Strong Productions. And then her guest today, / co-host now today, is a gentleman by the name, and his brand is actually his name, Andy Steinhauser.com. And we're going to talk more about him as well. So I don't know hardly anything about him. And for regular listeners of the show, this has happened a few times before. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Randi and Andy.
Hey!
Welcome.
How's it going?
So for our listeners, we've been talking already for like 5 minutes before this even started. So I'll give you the wheel.
They're joining it in progress. We'll be honest with you listeners.
Exactly.
Where how far do we reach to?
Admittedly, according to my website, I've got downloads from all different countries now. So
love it.
The show just launched in September. So
congratulations.
Thank you. And I had on this guy recently, like a week or so ago. There's a famous guy by the name of Dr. Jack Cruz. He's a world-renowned neurosurgeon, and he's from Louisiana. And this guy's got a crazy following. He shared another co-host episode to his page like a month ago and blew my show up. And then I brought him on the show, and within like the first 24 hours, he had already passed 1,000 downloads. Like nobody else has done that yet, that quick. And I was like,
a day? That's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. I was like, all right, for a new show, and this guy's already crushing it. And he's welcome back on my show anytime.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the podcast. You know, the podcast it has a reach that I think beyond any other form of communication almost.
Well, that's the power of it, is that this is an audio-based platform. And obviously today, this is something newer for our listeners, guys, that you guys will be able to go back to the Live the Fuel YouTube channel as well, because now I'm using a new Zoom platform. So now we're not just pumping out audio quality content. Some people want to actually see some behind-the-scenes video content, and you guys will be able to go back and actually see Randi and Andy as well. So that's fun. And we're very techie. We're very techie now. So. But yeah, actually, while we're introducing you guys to the audience, I'm going to look up the stats and run off a few countries that have been making the regular download list. But so let's catch the listeners up. Randi, you and I obviously met at Thrive, and for our new listeners, Thrive is not the nutrition or whatever guru product company that's out there. This is Thrive, Make Money Matter. And it was such a powerful event because, and I'm coming back again this year. This year it's going to be in Vegas. Last year it's in beautiful San Diego. I was actually hoping it was going to be back in San Diego.
Yeah.
Randi, you and your crew were like the most ridiculous, I don't even know, like event entertainment that I've seen in a long time.
Thank you.
How would you explain what you guys did? Like there was formal dance, and then all of a sudden there's all this like, I don't know, would that consider breakdancing? I'm going.
Yeah. So one of the many hats that I wear here in LA, I am part of a dance troupe called The Connection. That's how I first heard about Thrive. Was one of our members, Legacy Perez. He's a break dancer, and his girlfriend Patricia. They are friends with Cole Hatter, and they told us about Thrive and said, "Hey, we want to perform for this group of people," and so we. Heard about the type of convention that it was, and we were like, absolutely. And so this past year was our second year doing it, and it's 7 of us. We do breakdancing, contemporary, ballroom, Latin, partnering, tricks, that kind of thing. And so it just is an all-around just live entertainment, I would say.
I think what's unique about the connection though is it's the fusion of ballroom dancing and like house music and hip hop moves, and if you're just listening to this, that sounds absolutely crazy. But I know what you're saying. Like if you see it live, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're all best friends, and so that that's a lot of fun sharing the stage with them.
Well, you could definitely tell you guys are friends. It's pretty cool. And actually, I got to hang with you guys after the event, and we were just hanging out all night long. Actually, it was pretty cool. And I was like, man, these guys look like they have a lot of fun together. So,
oh yeah,
we do.
They know how to have a good time.
Yeah, we do.
I like to say that's usually a sign of success when it comes to business. I mean, you got to have fun with what you're doing, or else why are you even doing it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
So, how long have you been having fun with Strong Productions now?
So I started Strong Productions about 3.5 years ago. I mean, long story short, the reason I even started it, if you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd be running my own company, I probably would have laughed in your face and said, no, not me. But I got a high profile job with a very big company who everyone knows. And it kind of got botched by it was out of my control. I didn't like that it was out of my control. And I thought, you know what, I think I can do this better. And so I up and started my own production company. And now here we are 3.5 years later. And we have some really big clients that we do live entertainment for, mostly corporation type stuff. But we do everything. Andy, so long story short, he's my best friend and also my business partner, but he is the executive producer for Strong Productions. And so we actually create all the content and contracts and everything together.
Yeah, it's a fun adventure, because the best thing about creating work with Strong Productions is bringing a vision to life. We go to a client, there's, basically they think they have an idea of what they want, and usually they kind of have no clue what they want. And we kind of come in and explain give them some good options. We give them, 1, 2, 3 options. And then they're like, oh yeah, we never thought about that. And then they can trust us and they kind of let us run with it a little bit. We get the budget and we give them absolutely everything we can get from the budget and just squeeze it to the last drop and really just deliver something. The whole goal that we do when we create, especially this content, is usually being like in a corporate environment, at like a year-end convention, just something to break up the monotony. We strive to do anything that creates a connection, to have our performers reach over that void and connect to the audience. And that's what we really pride ourselves on being able to do.
So when you said squeeze the last drop, can you give us an example of how you do that? Like, literally?
Let's see, without giving away too much. Okay, budgets are really tricky, right?
Yeah.
Budgets are tricky.
Budgets are so tricky. They'll say, okay, here's X dollars to make whatever your show is. So you're like, okay, you're presenting a preliminary budget. You can't contract anyone until you actually have money to give them. So, you can work around the bush with people and say like, hey, we working on a project.
We're working on something.
What do you think you might be able to offer? And we've already pre-budgeted how much we maximum can give these people. Now, sometimes they'll come in, or this act or this piece of the puzzle, and they'll come in and say it's X and it's below. And so we're like, great. Awesome, more money to put wherever. But then sometimes they come in and it's like, it's this. We're like, okay, like it's right to the line. Like we can't take any more. Oh, but then there's shipping of this prop that we never knew that was going to be shipped. And it just,
and let's be real. That's also business, right? Like no business is a perfect science. We're always learning and things get thrown at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and another thing that we do, one of the really cool things that we do, we talk about like squeeze everything to the last drop, is we're really creative about, so we want to pay our talent, obviously, more money than we can pay them usually, 90% of the time that's the case. Like we want to pay them like so much and we only have this. So we'll be really creative and we'll say like to our client, we'll say, okay, you're going to have a camera there, right? You're going to be filming this. Yes. Okay, great. Give us high definition footage. We want all of the footage, and then we take the footage, we cut it down, and we give it to our talent, because that's one of the hardest things to get. It's a talent. So if you say to someone you're getting X dollars, but you're getting footage, that's a really creative add-on. It's kind of become actually our signature offering.
Well, that's kind of like the trick, right? It's like if you guys can bundle in more value and it's not costing you that much more as operationally, it's like, why wouldn't you over deliver? Because if nobody's over delivering and you're the only ones over delivering.
Yeah, I love that you said that. That is like our mantra anytime that we do. I mean, it's become honestly our staple is just under promise, over deliver. And then that way you really cannot fail. You really can't.
Oh, you guys are both saying it together, like you guys practicing this. Is this going into like a tagline now, or?
I don't know.
We're not planning it.
It probably should be. I don't know.
You're both a little ridiculous together, by the way. This is quality. This is quality entertainment. So
all of it is ridiculous.
By the way, have you noticed that mid podcast the microphone changed?
No.
Oh,
you notice any sound quality at all? Oh. Well, because I'm still getting used to the new webcam. I love showing like I'm real. I'm not perfect. So I have the brand new webcam, and the webcam's got microphones built in. But then I've got this $400 microphone sitting here that I noticed wasn't transmitting through.
I hear it now, and it sounds a lot better.
Yeah, well,
it's better.
It's all about the toys. So
again, I actually have a nice mic. We should have plugged in. Actually, that's perfect for this. But I've done a couple of podcasts through this, and most of them have told me that they just prefer the built-in mic for this laptop.
Yeah, you know what? See, now if you have the famous John Lee Dumas of EntrepreneurOnFire.com, he actually requires his guests to have a bare minimum certain microphone setup, or else you don't come on the show.
I have the Blue Yeti. I should have pulled it out. Wow. Sorry.
Yeah, which one do you have? I'm a 6-month-old show. I am not going to force people to buy certain microphones.
Yeah, you're Blue Yeti or you're out.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I got my $400 microphone, so as long as I sound good, I'm cool.
I think these are really awesome lessons for your listeners. I hope they're picking them up as we drop them along. It's like the under promise, over deliver.
Subtle undertones.
Don't go out and buy the mic. Just start. These are amazing lessons.
Well, to be fair, though, I did buy this to start with. I went quality from the get-go. I wanted, because I'm a marketing guy. I can't help that, man. Like I'm a gearhead because I'm an outdoors nut. Like I have a $3,000 mountain bike for a reason. I mean, and that was with my pro deal, so it's actually more than that. But I don't pay full price for anything. So So it's funny because like my friend's like, a buddy of mine came out of the house and he's like, the hell's all that over there? I'm like, oh, it's a studio. He's like, you have a studio? And I said, well, it's my office. And I've done a little tweaking to make it more studio friendly. He's like, what's that microphone cost? I'm like, don't worry about it.
That's for me to know and you to find out.
Exactly. But it does matter, actually. The little things like that. It's like when you guys do video production, you're not going to.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to know what kind of toys you guys have. So.
We rent them all when we do, but.
Well, you see, that's smart because as long as you know the overhead cost and your rental costs are always the same, you never have to worry about depreciating value. You never have to worry about repairs, and you never have to worry about that initial that cost of like.
Yeah. And we always end up with like the latest top of the line stuff.
Yeah.
The newest.
Yeah. Because let's be real, especially the new digital DSLR, blah blah blah. Yeah. They're crazy. It's like a computer. Once you buy it, within 6 months, you're already obsolete.
The technology moves so fast that it's like with cars. The technology's moving so fast.
Yeah, it blows my mind. So you guys, that's a great little behind the scenes there for our listeners. So anybody who's likes to show off and maybe has some great dance moves and maybe getting into some of this production type stuff, or even people who are doing fitness videos or any kind of videos, be smart. There's actually companies out there that will rent you the stuff.
Sometimes I'll tell you, we are surrounded by a lot entrepreneurs, lifestyle entrepreneurs out here in Los Angeles. Everyone's their own brand.
It's LA. Come on.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I definitely recommend in the beginning, don't go out and buy this whole setup, spend a day, do your research, take your time, do it right. If you are like a fitness brand and you want to launch, go and for the very lowest, best possible price for the quality, shoot 10 fitness videos in one day with a good camera and a good shooter and a good editor, and just use that, then reevaluate whether or not you need to drop $5,000. Don't go out spending money you don't have.
Well, and the new hack is iPhone 7. Ridiculous video functionality on a freaking iPhone.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it really is.
I'm still a 6S guy because I could care less. I'm still happy with this. I do selfie videos in the car from my YouTube channel all the time off my iPhone.
Yeah. I'm an exploding Samsunger. I like the.
I apologize. Well, let's just generalize. We'll go smart device, right? Smartphones. Okay, because Samsung, pretty kick-ass when they're not blowing up and the batteries are torching your car. So, because that was Samsung, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was bad.
By the way, did that happen to you?
No, I
Okay.
have this 6. I don't have that one.
Okay.
You don't have the alien. Yeah, he doesn't have the one.
I don't know the one that actually blows up.
But the best part was after that happened was I was actually, where was I flying to? I was in the airport and I see these signs about certain phones. And I'm like, they're going to confiscate your phone?
Yeah. That's bad.
I didn't realize that. Like, basically, you're whether
Talk
you like it
about,
or not, you're a risk.
This is going to be an amazing story to watch and see if Samsung delivers like the next product that can be a huge hit, and if they can bounce back. You know, I mean, they have corruption charges that, you know, in South Korea. Like, can Samsung bounce back with the S8?
Every tech company goes through it. Look at Nokia making a comeback. I mean,
I know, but they're bringing back the classic.
dude, I mean, there's colleagues of mine that want that phone back because years ago I worked for T-Mobile, and those were like the phone that everybody bought.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're old enough to remember when that was the phone. That was.
I'm turning.
And they're like,
I'm turning 40 this year.
What are the buttons? Good for you.
I'm 4-0. I told someone that in a business meeting today, and they're like, "You're not 40," and I'm like, "Thank you."
You definitely don't look it. Yeah.
It's called healthy lifestyle.
No, you should see him in real life too. He is like tall and just built.
So what is the? I'm sure
you.
you've told your listeners before. What's the secret on graceful aging?
Well, it's a combination. So nutrition obviously is key. Proper sleep cycle, circadian rhythm is key. I've gotten fancier with that since I brought in that neurosurgeon guy because he's like Mr. Neurosurgeon biohacker. Well, I'm sorry, he's a mitohacker. It's a whole. You should listen to that episode. Are you familiar with biohacking, by the way?
I love it.
Yeah. So the bare basic minimals is, and you don't have to tackle everything at once, but it's all about that lifestyle, right? There's so many pieces of lifestyle. So it's your health is composed of your nutrition, your sleep, your stress levels. So much on sleep, by the way. And then, then we'll throw in the fitness. I purposely, for the past few weeks, like I injured my SI joint. So I've only been actually at my CrossFit gym twice a week. And people are like, well, yeah, I may not be able to lift as much weight because I just fell out of that cycle. But I have not put on any weight. If anything, I lost weight because I'm not lifting. So, and that's why I love teaching people, because people are like, oh, how do you go out and do 100-mile bike rides? And I said, well, I don't just, end the ski season and go do a 100-mile bike ride. Like, I'm going to warm my way up into it. I'll go out for a couple 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and build up over the weekend. And then I'm back doing my centuries and my 100-mile bike rides. I'm a huge cyclist, and I mountain bike, and I'm a skier, and it's lifestyle. Just like you guys know dance and fitness that way. So actually, Randy, what were we doing? It was at the end of the event, or it was the night before the event. What were we doing there? We were screwing around, and you were doing exercise movements or something. Oh, I was showing you proper squat depth.
Oh yeah. I was telling you, because for a dancer, you think that I would have a lower squat, but my hips were tight.
I was so impressed with you up until that point, and I'm like, I was like, you call that an air squat? I mean, come on.
I remember. I know.
The best part was I couldn't believe I was doing that, because I'm like, I'm actually calling out a chick that can do so much more stuff that I could ever do on that stage, or just standing in the main foyer and doing flips and stuff. So I was like, I'll take one little win. I could squat better. So,
I'll give that to you.
How about you, Andy? How's your squat depth?
I was actually just working on that today. That's why I'm in my workout gear. I literally just came back from squat.
Again, to our listeners, if you go back and watch the YouTube video, literally they're sitting here in tank tops.
We are.
So.
We are.
I came in my workout gear, and she was too. So I just said, all right, that's what we're doing.
Whatever. It's real.
Well, and this goes back to your question, Andy. Like, it's our lifestyle. Who's to say you got to sit around in a suit? Or if you're a dancer, sit around in your dancing gear all the time. Like, we live real lives, and you should be comfortable and be happy about that. I don't know.
I completely agree on a couple of things you've said. All the things that you said about aging, I completely agree. I take that into practice, and I may not be as old as I look either. I'm 37, so I'm 30.
And you're right there with me.
A week.
It's all right.
Yeah. But I think it's important to know for the listeners is that I was not on this health and fitness journey, but like I would say even 6 years ago, definitely not. I thought I was on some kind of health, but I was actually incredibly unhealthy. Sleep patterns, everything that nutrition, everything we do that I do now, completely off. But the good thing is is that even if you start later in life, in your 30s, probably even in your 40s, 50s, 60s, whenever, it doesn't matter because your cells will regenerate. They will go back. You will. I look younger now than I did when I was 32.
Well, it's like, not to get all geeky and scientific, but people don't realize like our body, literally thousands of cells die daily and they're regenerated. So like your body is constantly dying and healing and dying and healing. And if you want to aid that healing process, you have to fuel the body the right way with the right sleep quantity, the right sleep cycle, the right nutrition.
We are so congruent with
water.
everything you're saying. We live that life, you know.
We're
to the
very
fullest.
disciplined about all that.
Yeah.
I had somebody at my gym the other day and she's just like, I'm turning 30. And I'm like, awesome, right? And she's just like, what are you talking about? I was like, the 20s suck. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you get through your 20s and you think you know everything, and then you realize you don't. Then you get into your 30s, and if you start dialing in your health and fitness in your late 20s, because let's be real, a lot of people after college, they slack off. They're all frustrated. They're going through, there's literally books written on, I've talked about on the show before, called the quarter life crisis. That's a thing.
That is a very real thing.
And now with the new millennial generation, no offense millennials, because part of the target audience of this show is the Gen Xers and the millennials, because I think it's our duty as Generation X to help the millennial generation find their path, because they're looking for mentors and coaches, and it's a whole different mindset of generation.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like, the freshman 15 is turned into the freshman 20. And actually, Randy, do you know what that means?
I do.
Yeah. Could you define that for our audience?
That doesn't happen when you're a professional dancer, but you know,
I have my own version of it for sure.
Okay, let's be real. If you injure yourself as a professional dancer, do you not go through some type of body shift or weight shift if it's a prolonged injury?
Oh, absolutely. So the first time that I ever got hurt it was right when I hit puberty at 16 or something like that. I broke my toe and I was out for 3 months. And when I came back, all of a sudden I had hips. And it was the first time in my life I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, I have to, start taking care of my body. Because before that, you're young and you just
eat McDonald's,
and you don't, cool down and warm up, and you just think that you can go on like that forever. And then you get a major reality check. I'll be 32 this year, and I'm still, this is a long story, but I just got back from an audition, and I'm standing there with 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they said something to me like, hey, like, wow, your body. And I'm like, listen,
this is a journey.
This is on purpose. Yeah. I take extreme measures, and I work hard every single day. That lifestyle. Yeah, IMF and sleep and then everything. I do all of it because I want to eat. Like, I want to be healthy. I want to get better as
we're on that J-Lo path. Like,
dude, she is a hot. Is she 50 yet?
She's like 40. She's at least 46, right?
She's got to be late 40s. She's got to be. It's her and Demi Moore.
Like, Demi Moore. Whoa.
Oh my God. When she came out on Charlie's Angels, I was like,
and she was, at that time, she was like 43 or 4 or something, and she was like a mom of 3, and you're like,
way beyond MILF class. You're like super MILF on that movie. I was like, what is that? Is that happening right now?
But those people exist to show us that we can do it.
But guys, come on. That's California. That's LA lifestyle. That's not real life. People can't live like that.
That's a myth. That's a lie. You can have this anywhere you want. Yes, it is. I will not. I travel around the country. I'm a spokesperson. I'm out on the road over 100 days a year. So I touch all corners of America. Yeah. It is easier. It is easier to do it here in California. Yes.
Let's be real. I've lived when I left when I went out west. A quick background on me, Andy. I'm weird because I left the corporate world. I find it because I grew up in farming and then decided to go chase corporate dreams.
Yep.
Then left the corporate world, and that's how I know the West so well, because I came out and got a gig and served as an elite hotshot wildland firefighter with the federal government for 2 years. So that's how I know the Angeles National Forest. I was stationed there for a little while. And then decided to come back and become an entrepreneur and be a sales and marketing professional and all kinds of other stuff. So it's like, you don't know what life is going to give you. Mm. And the biggest thing that we can maintain or focus on, and you're going to have the roller coaster ride, is the overall lifestyle. You got to keep it in the back of your mind, because it's the best way to fight stress. It's the best way to revitalize yourself as you're aging is like literally if you can maintain a healthy lifestyle throughout that process, the aging is not that big a deal.
No.
I'm sorry. I put it out all the time. People are like, oh yeah, but you have great genetics.
No, that's a lie. I have terrible genetics. You should look at my family.
Hold on. What does your family look like? I'll tell you mine.
No,
I love my family.
My family looks okay, but like there's every disease under the sun is like been in there, and it's like, but I just refuse to take it on.
The Mulvaney clan, the Irish bloodline, we're a thick bunch, and I love my family. I love them, but I tell them all the time. I'm like, my mom's like, oh, you took your physical characteristics from her father. She's like, it just came from your grandfather was tall and lean.
Yeah, right.
And I said, nowadays it's BS. I've literally helped people transform their bodies nutritionally and fitness wise, and it is a lifestyle. And if you want a legit body transformation, I tell people all the time, it's going to take at least 16 weeks to build something sustainable.
Yeah.
And because it's not just the nutrition and the sleeping. It's also reprogramming the lifestyle and building something that's sustainable and helps you. And then you need that 3 to 4 month period to start feeling what the energy shift happens, right? It's like, I don't want to lose that.
Oh yeah. No, it's a reprogramming of the mind as well. But it's interesting on the counter side is that it's like Randi actually does have great genetics, like her family, but they don't have good health practices.
Terrible health practices.
And it's going to catch up, right?
It will.
So I'm the oldest of 6. And when I look at, I'm the first one to like really hit that, oh no, I can't. Yeah, I'm 30. I can't be eating McDonald's and Frosted Flakes for dinner. And so and they laugh at me and they think I'm crazy and go to extremes, and that's fine. I said, come talk to me when you're my age and do what I do at my age.
But the sad part is it's not even that age factor anymore. Look at the rate of childhood obesity. The sugar consumption is off the freaking charts, and that is one of the biggest. If I had to take one thing out of everything else we're talking about, I'm like, if you cut the sugar, holy crap. People don't realize it's everywhere. It is
everything.
Yeah, it's not even a conspiracy theory.
It's not called sugar. It's called
a fellow guy in your market is the famous Vinny Tortorich. He's a personal trainer to the stars, and he's got a very successful podcast. He's from some ritzy area outside of LA. I forget what neighborhood he lives in, but he trains all the famous people. And VinnyTortorich.com. He's called the Angriest Trainer. His podcast is called Fitness Confidential because he wrote a New York Times bestseller called Fitness Confidential, talk about the gym industry and how all the shady crap that goes on behind the scenes. And
I can't imagine.
There's a lot of personal trainers who aren't legit and all this other stuff. And his whole point, and I've had him on the show twice now, and he's going to put me on his show. I've already recorded with him already, so I'll be on his show soon. And the cool thing is, he has built a powerful following. And one of the things that he trademarked is NSNG, which is no sugars, no grains. And I love it because I was already living that lifestyle and didn't even have a name for it.
Yeah. He's right. I mean, those are two things. You cut those out of your diet, you will see immediate results.
Yeah. And what people don't realize, and he talks to on his show, and he brings on gurus and doctors, but not like regular MDs, like doctors who actually study nutrition, because regular MDs don't know anything about it. And I've had MDs on my show admit to that.
If your doctor is not healthy, like physically, what are you doing taking nutrition advice from them?
Oh yeah, that's better. It's like, well, your cholesterol is too high. You shouldn't be eating eggs. Meanwhile, the guy's 300 pounds. Yeah. And I'm like,
I should be having lots of eggs, actually.
I was like, you do know that eggs provide essential cholesterol, and if you do not consume the essential cholesterol, your body will actually manufacture the cholesterol. You do know this, right? And I don't have a doctor.
On actual food.
We could do a
this
1 hour,
3 hour conversation. I got a buddy who's a trainer. I should actually connect you guys. You would love him, Steve.
Well, when I've got a doctor telling my own father, who's already a type 2 diabetic due to his lifestyle over the past few years, which he never was. Okay. So now he's in that world, and everybody knows that if you take on a disease or an illness, it will affect your life longevity. So I take this very seriously. And then I got another doctor telling him, well, you got to really cut your cholesterol. You should be eating, products like Cheerios. And I'm like, I was like, should I strangle you now or later? I was like, that is first of all, it's not even real food. It's manufactured crap. Second of all,
it's powder.
I was like, you're 60 some years old. all that is manufactured grains and sugars. Well, it's fortified with vitamins.
Look,
and I'm like,
low cholesterol.
I was like, your doctor literally watches television for his education.
Yeah.
Like you are a boob tube doctor. That's how I look at it.
Fuck you, doctor.
So yeah, I was like, no, you're not going to do that.
It's like Donald Trump's doctor. He's the healthiest man alive.
Yeah. I got our president eats at McDonald's. I'm like, oh God, you're killing me.
Yeah.
Like no president's perfect. Obama. I'm not going to get it. We're not going to go political here because that's a whole different problem.
Yeah.
But I was like,
just talking about health.
At least Obama and his wife, at least they freaking cared about health and fitness.
I will tell you this. I will say one thing, and it's not even really political. And I'd be curious to know your opinion on this. One thing that really bothers me about Donald Trump is that I know, because of his tweeting his time frames, that he doesn't take sleep seriously. No. He doesn't value sleep. And me and you and us three all together, and hopefully most of the listeners as well, have sleep as one of our highest priorities and highest values, and the leader of the free world, because we know of the benefits of what you get, everything, and what you lose when you don't have sleep, everything, that he doesn't value sleep. And that is, to me, terrifying.
It's something that I coach because I coach every Friday at my CrossFit gym. So I'm a CrossFit coach too. Thanks to the firefighting, it got me hooked on it. And I love the lifestyle. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, guys, if you have a choice of recovering from improper sleep or going to do a workout, you recover with proper sleep. Fix the circadian rhythm. Get your programming back on track, because your body will heal. It will recover. Whether you're the president or somebody else who's tweeting at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're still that old school hero mindset saying, I rule the world because I work all day long and I only get 4 hours of sleep. I'm like, I used to be that guy, dude. In corporate world, I was doing 60-hour weeks because it was salary and I was in management and I was making good money, and I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And that was my claim to fame. Like, dude, I do 60-hour work weeks. Now I tell my clients, I'm like, I'm going to get the work done in half the amount of time and you're going to pay me the same amount because I'm a top performer.
You are so our projection, because we literally had this conversation 3 days ago about work and how we used to be like this too. Like, we work till like 4 in the morning.
No sleep. No sleep.
I work the hardest. Like, I'm the hard. Like, I have gone the hardest left from that now, and I am on the exact opposite pace. And like, if you go look at my Instagram right now, you'll see 4 pictures down, a case for the slow hustle. This is my new. You guys can take this and run with it. It's called the slow hustle. Yes, we are hustling. Yes, we are entrepreneurs grinding, making our way through this city, making our way through this country, this world, making a brand and a name for ourselves. But I refuse to believe that I have to kill myself and be unhappy in the process. I think that is a lie. You can be happy, enjoy the process, you can take a breath, you can just be healthy and still be a hustler.
Yes. And it's funny because, so basically, to our listeners and anybody who follows social media, Gary Vaynerchuk would probably have a heart attack right now because if anybody follows him, he's Mr. Hustle. But actually, if you really follow him to the granular level, he even has admitted that he's not the same hustler that he used to be. He's realized the health and fitness impacts and the rest and recovery, and he's living a more balanced life. So people need to take that seriously. It's like, dude, when he says hustle, he's not saying that he's working 80 hours a week. He's telling you in the beginning, we've all been there until we pull our heads out of our asses and realize you can work more efficiently and effectively.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, efficiency. The efficiency level just goes through the roof when you take your sleep seriously.
I literally was at 3 o'clock yesterday. I had driven back from a meeting over an hour and a half away. One of my clients, I do business development for them. I was closing a big deal for them. I'm on the phone with the buyer of the other company, closing a deal for them. I have our coonhound who was riding in my car all day with me. So we stop at his local park, and he's out like he normally does, howls at every freaking tree under the sun. So it does not make for very professional conference calls. And I'm literally there with my iPhone headphones on, walking through the woods with him. And the guy I'm talking to knows that I do this from time to time. And we finished the call. He's like, hey, you should probably go, let your dog out. I'm like, nope, I'm in the woods right now. And I was like, thanks for the business. I want to see that PO tomorrow. So didn't
exactly.
phase the business deal at all.
You
Didn't
can
phase
do
it.
it. Yeah.
Because the difference is he knows that I'm the health and wellness junkie. He knows I have a podcast that has nothing to do with his industry. And he loves it because he told me the other day, he's like, Scott, I had no idea you were a CrossFit coach. I said, oh, we don't really come up in conversation. He's like, my sister owns a CrossFit gym. She's like, I'm going to tell her about your podcast so she can come on your show. I'm like, I would love to have her come on my show. So all of a sudden, two different worlds who have nothing to do with each other are colliding because of lifestyles.
Yeah.
So this is why I teach people, my guys, don't hide who you are and what you love. And I will never apologize for doing business on a phone in the woods. I'm like, to be fair, I should be focusing on that moment in the woods.
Yeah.
But I knew that call was going to happen. And I'm like, I'm going to multitask and live the life that I live. And that's how I roll. So
that's awesome. And I think that's the most inspiring thing, you know, like, you can take a hike and still get business done and do big deals. And that is, you know, if you would have told me that 5 years ago, I'd be like, no way. But now I know that to be, it's not something, maybe. I believe that. I know that to be true.
I don't do that all the time because if I'm in the woods, usually I leave the phone in the car. I'm like, let it go to voicemail, go back. But I was like, you know what? I want to have fun with this call. The guy knows I'm a health nut. I'm going to go have fun and still have a call with the guy and close out the day strong because I was at the
great state because you were outdoors and, you know, you were able to.
Exactly.
You were.
And this is what builds. If people are trying to hack peak performance, again, listeners, you guys should be listening to this, whether you're following Randi Strong Productions or you're following Andy here. And again, Andy, just for our listeners, by the way, like social media wise, is everything tied to your name then? Is your brand everything?
Andy Steinhauser. Yeah. Best to come at
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
I'm on them all. Best on Instagram. I'm the most active and up to date on Instagram, and I'm actually in the process of updating my website, and I have like some new content coming out, and I'm going to be changing a lot of things up. So stay tuned, but you'll find it all on Instagram for sure.
But to our point here, I was trying to lead to is for both of you, like we're all over social media. Even my girlfriend's just like, God, you're on social media all the time. I was like, yeah, that's my business. Like, this is what I do. I help people build brands online. Yeah. I have to know social media. But if you go to my Instagram, there's a mix of motivational quotes, inspirational quotes, cycled in with my lifestyle stuff. Sometimes I literally take a photograph of my eggs and bacon because I eat eggs and bacon because I love the healthy fats and healthy cholesterols, tying it back to earlier. And if some people prefer vegetarian or vegan, I have friends that do that too. That's cool. I'll take a photograph of my big healthy salad one night too. So I try and balance my feed. But the point is like, that's what I believe in when it comes to building a brand. There's more to you than just the business. And people, I think, are drawn to your brand based on who you are and what your lifestyle is. And this is the kind of marketing that I believe in. And I know that both of you two are living that. It's truly part of your lifestyle. Because if we're not living the healthy, fit lifestyle, how are you supposed to be a peak performer in your business?
Yeah. One thing that we haven't talked about is that we don't talk about it too much because it's not like the most public aspect of what we do, but we're also peak performance coaches. So I'm a master trainer of neurolinguistic programming. Randy is a trainer of neurolinguistic programming, coach of neurolinguistic programming coach. So we do peak performance consulting, timeline therapy, hypnosis. We can train and certify in all of those areas. But yeah, it's just kind of like something that's like uncovered as you go through. It's like what you were saying, how people uncover that you're into other things. And,
and here's what I'll add to that. And as far as like the social media and the thing that we have found, and it has taken a long time to find this, when you are true to yourself and just yourself and not trying to be, the best dancer, and I'm not trying to be this and I'm not trying to be that. I'm just me. This is who I am. This is the lifestyle I choose. Sure. This is the food that I eat. This is the hikes that I go on. Here's my dog. Here's my friends. This is my lifestyle. And when you show someone something real, that is when a connection is made. That is when something that's undeniable has been created. And that is what, really fuels us.
Like what we were talking about with when we make a production, it's about a connection. It's about reaching over that void and
Yeah.
Connecting.
Well, first of all, by the way, Brandy, great action word choice of fuel, because I use it in everything. So nice tie together. But the point, everything you both just said is so true, because we can strip off everything off of our exterior. You can strip it down to the bones, the muscle, and it's us. That's who we are. If your self is not built to literally be as bulletproof as you can, we all have our weaknesses, but you got to build you, and you got to build who you are at the core, because that's what's going to fuel everything else in your life. And if you don't know who you are and what you're trying to do, that's cool. That's cool. We all have our own self-help, self-development, personal and professional development paths we're going to be taking throughout our lives from our 20s to 30s and 40s and beyond. And I think that's part of the realistic, I guess, goal when people set their goals. Is like, guys, set realistic, small, attainable steps. And I think that's what people forget about is focusing on that self. And are we being true to ourselves and who we are and what we believe in? Or are we trying to fake it until we make it? I hate that slogan. Yeah. I've used it. Admittedly, I've used it. Like sometimes you got to fake it till you make it.
Sometimes there's no other option.
Like fake it till you make it on a marketing standpoint, but never fake who you are. Never fake who you are.
Exactly.
It won't make you happy.
Yeah.
It won't make you
happy. Yeah, like when I had I'm like you, Andy. I'm still not happy with my website. I'm getting it all redone again soon. I just had to get something up to get the podcast going. But then I had an epiphany a month and a half ago, because people go there now and they scroll down. The whole backdrop is 3 different shots. One of me doing a farmer's carry with heavy weights, crossfitting. One of me from my wildland firefighting days, and one of me in a nicer, more casual, like suit jacket type thing. And I think that's important. I wanted to do that because those are my 3 lifestyles. I came from the professional world. I still have that in me. I'm always got the fitness piece of it. That's part of my brand. And I was a firefighter, and I'll never forget those 2 years of life-changing experience, because it's what keeps me fired up. I mean, Live the Fuel stands for live the fired up epic life. So it's all tied together, and you can have, I think people forget about this, is you can have different components of yourself as long as they're true to who you are, and you don't mind putting it out there and don't hide it.
You know, it's funny that you say that. Like, a lot of the stuff sometimes when I do with coaching clients is a lot of people, they may be in a job, like more of like a 9 to 5, and they want to do something completely different. And that's like a very common thing, you know, and I probably...
like I'm going to leave my VP of sales and marketing and become a yoga instructor.
Right.
Okay.
So
financially, I'm not sure if you're going to pull that off. I mean, you could do both.
Oh, you can do it. Yeah. It's like, this is the tie-in, is like, that's exactly it. I always tell people, it's like, let's come at our change from a kind perspective. You know, let's be kind to ourselves here. We don't have to like destroy your life to make a change. You know, if you want, yes, you're moving and you're changing. You want to become holistic, and maybe, you know, your passion lies in yoga. Great. But you're making 6 figures doing your job. Let's find a way that you can enjoy and respect and appreciate your job and develop your new, maybe it is going to be your new life mission, but let's develop it in a kind way and choose. I have this thing, choose to make change easy.
Well, and part of that transition is that you have to be realistic, right? Like making a shift from a 6-figure income down to, and maybe that's your life path. Maybe I've literally met people who have done that. They've become like big yogis or whatever. I'm like, that's fine, but you can't do that overnight. You make that drastic of a shift, you're going to have a psychological breakdown. I don't care how powerful you think you are. You're going to break. So like you're saying, build a game plan or an exit strategy.
Exactly.
And actually plan for that. Start reducing your lifestyle requirements, giving things away, reducing your cost of living, wiping out debt, setting aside emergency funds for that transition. All those things take time. And as long as you lay all that out, it sounds like you coach to that too. Well, now you've got a game plan, and you can build excitement along that path. It's like, within 1 year or 2 years, I will be free. And who knows, within 2 years, maybe you don't want to be a yogi anymore, but you've built your exit strategy. So now you're more free and you can do more things.
Yeah.
It's healthy and it's congruent. It's ecological. Ecological's the word. Good for everybody. It's fine.
And I speak so passionately about this because I've been there. I've literally left things because I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just done. And then all of a sudden I'm stressed because I was like, crap, I didn't actually simplify my life to be able to pull that off. And now I'm freaked out about money and everything else. Like we could talk to this because we've made these mistakes, and I don't want to see people make those mistakes.
And I just hope that the listeners know that I only know this information because I made those mistakes.
Guess what? It's real.
And I'm only teaching them and passing them out so others do not have to make the mistakes, because you don't. It's like, I hate that belief system of, well, I got to do it the hard way.
Gotta learn the hard way.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
It's funny because there's a famous author also I've had on the show, and I was just on his podcast. His name is Mike Michalowicz, and this is something I really recommend for all entrepreneurs. His famous book right there is Profit First.
I love that.
He also wrote Surge next to that. Profit First it's a whole new way of doing accounting. And for entrepreneurs, it's powerful. I literally am implementing it this week. I've already hired one of their certified bookkeepers. They're overhauling my entire business practices. Wow, and I'm so excited because I've never been great with money. I'm the adrenaline junkie. I'm spontaneous. I'd rather focus on the lifestyle and not worry about the money later. I'm done with that. Right. Y'all grow up sooner or later. And I love talking about that. Like, I've had a lot of successes in life and life experiences that I'll never take back. But the one thing along the path that's always held me back is financials. So, and I love being transparent about this because no one taught me the value of that and the importance of that. And I've always tried to figure it out along the way, and it never really clicked. And when I read that book a year ago, I was like, oh my God, this is on. And I just never implemented it. And then I just finally said, I'm done. This year, I'm ripping the lid off.
I want to read that one.
And the podcast and everything else just helped to make it happen. I'm very excited.
I think that's a really important conversation. It's really interesting. I grew up in a family that financial literacy was discussed. Financial, not like how much money is dad making is discussed, but like how to manage money, where does money go, how we're going to pay for things, like how you're going to pay for financial. I had financial literacy growing up, and I feel very grateful for that. And I know Randy had a different experience. So it's,
Are you more like me, Randy?
I did
Are you sitting here with a fake dunce hat on your head too? You're like, I didn't get taught that at all.
Yeah. But no, I just think it's important to know that, whether or not you did, it's a great value if you can grow up with financial literacy, but if not, you can learn it. You learned everything in life. You learned how to walk. You learned how to talk. You learned how to ride a bike. You learned how to go to school. You learned how to study. You can learn how to do finance too.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you, if you guys are actually like, how much, not to segue back to the business piece, but like what percentage of each of you are really spending the time on the peak performance coaching and the business coaching or whatever that may be? Like, is that a big chunk, or is that, I think that's time-wise? Yeah, like out of your equation.
The other things that we do.
Yeah, because we all wear many hats.
I've been doing it a little bit longer than Randy. I probably spend at least a solid 10 to 20% of my time on it, because a lot between development and actually coaching with clients. Because it's not a business that's like, okay, great, now I know the information, everyone's going to line up. Like, it's taken a long time for the clients to come around, but once it's actually now really just starting to be like, so-and-so told me about what you do, and I want to talk to you about it more, and it's like starting to become, that's why I said I'm redoing a lot of things. I'm going to be coming out with a new program. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but I'm going to come out with a new introductory program that's very.
What's the timeline on that?
I hope to have that done by out and open for everybody to consume by May.
So you're coming back on the show? Oh,
definitely. When it's done, we'll talk just about that. Oh yes. Yeah. Yes.
Because I love promoting other people's stuff. Because it's going to be really people cool. Are like, well, when are you going to promote your stuff? And I'm like, that's not the point of the show. I mean, I might work that in once in a great while, but I truly believe if I can help other people grow their brands, whether they're my clients or they're just guests on the show, that's just going to build who I am and who my brand is. So I don't care about it. And anytime someone's excited about a new product launch, I'm like, cool, I want that energy on the show, because we're fired up all the time here.
Yeah.
So I like that.
So I would say I'm a little bit less. So I only found out about NLP and all this thing because Andy went to training, and I just noticed, I was like, okay, what are you doing? I don't know what you're doing, but I want to know and teach me everything.
Okay.
And I went back to school, basically. I went back to school. And this information has changed my life. And it hasn't just changed my life. It's changed my relationships with people in my life, my family, my friends, my relationships, everything. And so I do extend that to especially other dancers who come to LA and they have no idea what they're doing. And I'm
that's your niche too. That's your market.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, what do you want? I can help you focus and get exactly what you want. It's just about what you focus on. But also, it's helped me so much just in my business and clients and the way that I communicate with people and my mindset. It has changed everything.
You know, it's like
changed everything.
You do it for yourself first, you know, and then it's like, oh, okay, and I'm good.
It's funny because I spent, when I was in the big corporate world, like for example, T-Mobile, that's when I really found my coaching legs, because they got rid of our managerial titles while I was there, and they turned us into, literally, our job titles got converted to coaches, and they sent us through all this professional development because, hey, listen, we have major issues of employee attrition and we're trying to cut costs. And part of that was like, listen, we got to help people find the right jobs in the organization, make them feel like they have a career path. They build out longevity, all this other stuff. And the funny thing was because even when I was there, I'd wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'd be actually teaching spinning classes. I was a certified spinning instructor that whole time. So I did that for 5 or 6 years. And then I went to the corporate job.
A lot of fallbacks.
Yeah, I've done a lot. I mean, I've been a USSA ski race coach for 11 years now. I took this year off. I think I might be finally transitioning away from that because I only have so much bandwidth. I'm a CrossFit coach. So it's like I've had many coaching hats. So people are like, well, so
you're built in to just,
it's programmed. But it doesn't mean I know everything. And I've actually looked at the peak performance stuff. I've never really seriously looked at the program, but I've come across it many, many times.
Well, I'll teach it to you anytime you want to know. I can certify you. That's serious.
But I think it's important because we talk about how when you start hitting your head up against a wall, and this is in any profession, any lifestyle, any age, it doesn't matter. Everybody eventually is going to need a coach, whether it be a nutrition coach, a sleep coach, a business coach. It doesn't matter. We all eventually need to find a community of support or a coaching relationship. Like I'm currently looking for a new coach because I coach other people. And I'm like, listen, here's a little test. You know, if you got a good coach, if they have a coach. Oh, yeah. If you have a coach who doesn't have a coach, you're with the wrong coach.
You're with the wrong coach.
We have coaches. Yeah. We are connected to a network of coaches, and we
because how do you expect somebody to use you as a coach if you're not furthering yourself? We're always moving. We always have to be leveling up, and we eventually do mature beyond the prior coach. And it's okay if you have to go through a transition until you find that next mentor. And that's always a struggle for too. I've had to change. I've been through 2 different coaches now. I level up to the point where if I feel like I'm just not getting enough out of it, I'm like, it's time for a change. So,
Well, good for you for recognizing that and then taking action and doing something about it, because really it's just bettering.
Well, and then the beauty of it is I consider that a success story, because then when I know what it took for me to move beyond that coach. And then when I come across other people who need help and I'm like, oh, you know what? You don't fit my demographic. You fit that coach's demographic. And it's a guaranteed referral program, because I truly believe in putting people with the right people, and don't force it.
See, Randy has one of the coolest coaching gigs. Randy coaches athletes.
Yeah. I love coaching athletes. So.
Totally, I mean, we're talking like elite athletes, like
at her level.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because I said at the beginning of the show, this girl can move. So.
I recently started doing movement coaching for Olympic ice dancers.
What?
Man. I know, it's so crazy. But that, and also, listen, anybody that comes to LA or anywhere and wants to be a professional dancer, that's an elite level. That's another level. And it comes down to mental strength. And that's not something that I feel that I grew up with. And I think a lot of people don't grow up. It's not like you have a mental coach in the 6th grade.
No.
And further in high school, like when you probably need one. And so that's what I focus on. It's like, look, I know you can point your toes. I know you can straighten your legs. Great. I'm so happy for you. What's going on upstairs? Where does your mental strength lie?
Even at our gym, I have newer coaches that work with me, and I've only coaching for a few years now, but we have newer coaches too in CrossFit coach world. It's like, guys, like when I'm working out, I want somebody to look at me because I can't see what I'm doing. It's something as simple as that. Like just for movement clarity, it's like, you may know how to do it, but maybe you're off that day.
Yeah.
If someone's not looking at you, how do you know? So now we're speaking to physical, but the same thing with audio. Like if you tell your coach what's going on, that's a third party perspective. So now it's that outside coming in and you have somebody else observing it, or at least talking to you about your situation. Yeah, we almost sound like we're therapists, but it's not that. But the point is you need to have somebody to have bounce ideas off of.
Exactly. Yeah. It's about, it's about helping people and about really providing resources and new patterns and new thought processes and new opportunities, new knowledge, all of it. Yeah.
And I forgot to ask you at the beginning of the episode, but do you guys have a hard out time?
A what?
A hard out time, like the time to end the show? Because you guys moved it earlier.
Yeah.
I just realized.
We have a class at 7, so we got
about like 5-10 max.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure. Yeah. I got something to show you real quick from a coaching relationship.
Oh, I can't wait. Audience, for those of you that are listening, he's going around the back, pulled something out.
So I love showing this off because and shout out to my regular listener Brian Strausser from the Strausser Project. Can you guys see this?
What? Oh wow! Did he carve that by hand?
This is handmade from mahogany.
Oh,
he carved this, stained it. He's a woodworker.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And then he put this on, and I'll read that.
Read it.
The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. It's a quote from Steve Jobs. And then he said, "Thanks for all your help. Now let's go change the world." Strauss.
Boom.
And I was like, so this is on my wall next to the light up bike, because I was like, dude, like this is right after I launched the show, and he's not a paid client. He's a friend that I met running chainsaws last summer at my local mountain biking park, helping recovery from some storm recovery work. And we just started clicking, and he's an ex-personal trainer who put on weight and went through a lot of stress, and just the guy's been through a lot. And I said, listen, whenever you're ready to talk, just give me a call. Yeah. And we've been building that relationship. He's now been on the show a couple of times. Oh. I mean, the guy's opening himself up, transparent. He's now like hustling. He's on my nutrition team for my nutrition business. Like all this stuff's going on now. He's so pumped up, and he's literally, he has a little girl, and he says everything he does is just to be a better father. And so like having something like that was awesome. I love working with people like that. It's like, that's
Brian,
awesome.
Be our friend on Instagram, please, Brian.
I want to be
Everybody needs to work and like hang with Brian. But actually, yeah, if you go onto Facebook, you'll see if you go to Strausser Project, Strausser, for our listeners too, Strausser Project, like his page. Shout out, Brian. But like he has pictures of him like hiking with his little girl, and he's been doing some Facebook Live video. He's been opening himself up and getting him more out there, and I'm proud of him because he's a good man and he's got a good heart.
That's what we'll follow.
Yeah, and he helped. Actually, I helped him. We did a live Facebook feed from my CrossFit gym for a boy that he met a year or so ago who suffers from a skin condition, which is basically called butterfly children. You're basically an open wound your entire life. He's missing essential collagen in the skin. Yeah. That's another episode on one of my past shows. Crazy. I knew nothing about it until we did that episode. And he's like, hey, they're doing a GoFundMe campaign because his house in Staten Island, New York is so small. And they got one of those motorized chairs on the basement stairs to take him down. And they built a special bathroom for him because you have to bathe him a certain way or else he literally rips his skin open and stuff. There's photos of bandages. Anyway, so I'm like, dude, we're going to blow this up. I mean, I'm a social media guy. So I was doing Facebook ads. We did Facebook Live video while we were recording the podcast, did the podcast, shared the crap out of it. Literally, like over the next 24 hours, they set a goal to raise $40,000. I forget, last time I checked, the campaign finally closed. There were well over 100,000 raised.
Oh, amazing.
Wow.
And the company he works for is going to go and build. They already said the company, his cabinet making company said, listen, we're just going to fund the stuff. Like, so now that extra cash can be put towards other things. I'm like, dude, at this point we could pretty much rebuild his house. So it was just, and it wasn't just our efforts. There was obviously other efforts helping with this, but it was just so cool how people come together, and I had a platform to potentially have one small impact on that. And I just love sharing stories like that to you guys and to our listeners, because this is what we should be doing. Like we should be making impact on lives.
Helping each other, give back.
What is the point? There is so much abundance in this world. We have enough of everything.
Yeah, exactly. And Brian, last time I think you're 30 pounds down last time you texted me. So kudos, buddy.
Yes.
So there's a lot of stuff going in his favor. It's so cool. And So, and again, he's not a paid client. He's just become a friend of mine, and we're just working very closely together. And I told him, like, he's become kind of like a pet project. Sorry, Brian. I just love you, man. It's just cool to
jam, dude.
Big heart. Big heart. And it's like, and I'm sure you guys have people like that through your peak performance, where when you click with somebody, it's like, man, I want to help this person. I want to see that change.
Honestly, I had a coaching session this morning, and I'm on like, actually I'm like a little, I only have like 6.5 hours of sleep, which I'm kind of an 8-hour, so I was a little under, but I've been lit up all day from this session, and it is draining in a way, because when you coach, you're giving everything to your client.
Yes.
But it was just so much positive change, and so much neurology has been opened up in just the 3 hours that we worked together, and just watching her literally have a physical transformation before my eyes, like from kind of just like to glowing, I guess those auditory listeners couldn't hear that, but like from just kind of like just dull skin tone to like a glowy skin tone. And it lights me up. Like I get as much back from that as I do from, that I give. And and I'm sure Randy could probably say the same thing.
I think people underestimate the impact of coaching. I didn't realize it either. Like, it is draining. It's people think you're just talking to somebody. Like, no, dude, like if you have a good coach, they're putting everything they can. It's the auditory. They're listening to you. They're thinking for you. We're trying to help you. It's very draining.
Yeah. You got to really, you go all in, there's nothing else happening at that moment. Just, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know how people do back-to-back coaching sessions with multiple clients. I'm like, you might need I need like a meditation period or something.
So what do you do with your skaters? Like 8-10 hours in a day?
Yeah,
like
we go back to back. But it's the same thing. At the end of the day, you do go home. I go home from coaching, and I am just like dead on the floor. My brain is completely fried. But during it keeps going. Like, you find the energy somewhere, because you're giving it to them, they're receiving it, you're helping them, they're helping you. It's this energy that's undeniable.
It's an energy exchange.
And it's just an energy exchange. And so while you are giving everything, you're also getting back. So by the end of the day, I need to sleep. But
I literally have gotten that. And actually, again, thank you, Brian, for this impact. But the first time and then the second time he was on my show, he's psychologically going through things too. And he's literally like fought and then still cracked and literally started crying a couple times while he's trying to get out his emotions and what he's talking about on the podcast. And we're doing these like live. Like, first time we did it live in a Starbucks, and he's like trying to apologize. And I'm like, no, dude, this is real shit. Let it out. Like, be freaking real. I was like, I can't make this up. Like, you are awesome. Like, you're showing what a real man is all about. This is powerful. Don't hold back. I was like, if I got to have a weird pause in the show, let's have a weird pause until you're ready to finish. And like, that was like, that was one of the first podcasts where I'm just like, oh, whoa, I feel. All right.
I didn't expect that to happen, crying at Starbucks.
Yeah. Hey,
not on the agenda.
Starbucks is like a secondary office. It's like I've literally recorded at least 6 podcasts out of Starbucks already. So
you got to give it up to Starbucks. They're just, like Howard Schultz, like he's a genius.
I may not drink their coffee because it's literally cooked to shit. But I was like, listen, you got me Wi-Fi. It's a great environment. I love being around other people, and it's just a fun social environment. And I think it works.
A fast food restaurant that is like a higher end version than anything we've ever seen. It's amazing.
Yeah. And you guys have everything in California though, man. So
you ain't catch me dead in a Starbucks in California.
We finally got a Whole Foods like a few months ago. But admittedly, I think that's kind of that's overpriced crap. But they put in a cafe with a bar. So I was like,
yes. Oh yeah, that's the thing now. Yeah.
That's the thing. So we got like wine on tap and beer on tap. I don't drink beer anymore really, but
come to LA.
We got come to the farmer's market. We got like one a day.
Yeah, but the farmer's market doesn't have Wi-Fi. I got to be able to work. I got to work.
Oh, we got co-working spots.
I do love co-working spots.
Oh, we got co-working everywhere.
I do miss that from Arizona. There was a lot of great co-working spots I used to go to in Scottsdale and Phoenix when I was living out there. That was cool.
Oh,
And Denver, Colorado had them too when I was living out there. That was awesome. So, I've dabbled. I get around. So, well, listen, guys.
You're awesome. I feel like we could talk to you for hours.
That's what I love about it is because, and that's the kind of so you guys both, first of all, before we do our closing final words, you're more than both welcome back on separately, together. I don't care. I love the energy. This is what our audience needs. They need to have realness, transparency, and you both bring such a unique lifestyle, forward that there's going to be plenty more to talk about.
So
much more.
Scratched the surface.
So much more.
And I love the fact that you're both building brands behind your names too. So that's powerful. It's like you are your brand, and
we're doing it separately and together. It's fun.
Yeah, and you're helping each other, which is powerful too. So, and if I can help you guys, absolutely, man. I'll fuel your story. I'm game on. So,
Thank you.
So listen, since we have two co-hosts today to our listeners, I'm going to let you each have some final words for the listeners, and then just hang on for a second and I'll stop recording and I'll say goodbye properly after we're done at the end of the show here. But Andy, since you're the new face to my literally, because guys, go back and watch the YouTube video because we have video here. But why don't you start with the final words, my friend? If everybody listening to this episode forgets everything that we talked about today, because we were everywhere and all over the place, what's that final message that you want to leave our listeners?
Okay, Randy, I'm going to say whatever you remember what Randy's going to tell you, because that's the most important thing.
Ooh.
But I'm going to tell you the second most important thing. Well, no. It's on par. It's on par.
I have something else.
Oh, you have something else? Okay, all right.
Uh-oh.
If you remember anything today from me, remember this. Continued learning. You must keep learning. You have to continue to learn something new. Read a book, learn a new skill, try a new class, do something. If you're not learning, you're not going anywhere. You're stagnant. That is the number one thing. You have to keep learning. Whatever you choose to study, I don't care what you choose to study, as long as it's positive and ecological, learn new. That's my leave advice. Continue learning always.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
Yeah. Continued learning.
Okay, so I highly am in high agreement with that statement. I believe it like the sun's going to come up tomorrow. Continue your learning. One thing that I will leave with you, with the listeners, and it's probably the biggest thing that has impacted and shaped my life, is focus on what you want. Focus on what you want. When you're not focusing on what you want, you're focusing on what you don't want, and you're going to get what you focus on. And so if you focus on what you want, and I can attest to this, like it's truer than true, you will get what you focus on, and I choose to focus on what I want. So I encourage all your listeners and everyone to really take that to heart and just think about where your mind is going throughout the day, and just, focus on what you want.
I'm going to slow clap that because I completely agree.
Boom. You guys could drop like the mic if you guys had mics in your hands.
Yeah,
So to our listeners, guys, that was, again, visit their websites, andysteinhauser.com and randystrong.com. Until Andy updates the site, you will see a very fun picture of him crushing a PBR can. And Randi Strong obviously has a very powerful site, lots of dance history. She's a very fit woman. Please check these guys out. Follow them on all the social media feeds that they have linked to their sites.
And Scott, we'll tell you and your listeners, we love it when people reach out on our Instagram.
Oh yeah. Tweet them, Instagram message them, Facebook message them.
Slide in those DMs, guys.
Yeah, his is at Andy Steinhauser is his Instagram. Mine's at Randi Strong. Please reach out. We love hearing people and just giving our advice or just anything. Like reach out, ask a question, pick our brain. We love it.
So there you go. So again, hold on a second, guys. Let's say goodbye properly. But again, to our listeners, guys, continued learning and focus, okay? Remember these messages from these two. So again, guys, that's another Live the Fuel episode. I love this. We just keep growing. We keep bringing on bigger and better co-hosts. They are definitely going to be coming back on the show. So again, our final messaging to you guys today is, again, we're here to fuel your health, your business, your lifestyle. Keep living the fired up, epic life. And we'll talk to you guys again soon.
Oh,
you're clear.
God.
Good job, man.
Yeah, it's not my first rodeo. It's 6 months old. Apparently, I'm getting into broadcasting now or something. I have no idea. So.
Right.
Scott, we definitely want to continue this conversation forever and talk to you sooner than later, please.
I've this year already, I've already had a few other repeat co-hosts. And actually, I got to get them connected with you. If you guys ever need a connection, there's a local company here called Mind of the Athlete. They've been on my show multiple times because it's a team of sports psychologists and a nutritionist. So it's literally, there's one, two,
Wow.
three female psychologists found by a male psychologist who founded the place. Great team, man. Like they're all over social media. Check out Mind of the Athlete. But if you ever need connections on that from a psychological perspective, they're
Absolutely.
they work with colleges out in California too. Like they travel all over the place. So
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
So
Okay, cool. Well, let us know like how we can share this and
send us like a link so we can share it.
Once I will let you guys know where it is in the calendar release. I'm about a week or two out. I try to keep it very, very new and recent. And then anything you guys need to email me though, your preferred headshot or whatever. I need to have a graphic. And since you're both co-hosts, maybe we'll have you do a shot of both of you guys together in something.
We have one. We have a really good one. We have an amazing one of us together.
We
have a dual headshot.
Okay, and then anything else you need in the show notes, because everything does go on the blog for helping with your SEO. Any kind of special hyperlinks, whatever, please send that in the same email so I can make sure that goes into the show notes and my VA puts it in there.
Oh,
perfect.
Scott, this has been awesome. We're running to class.
All right.
Stay in touch, and we'll talk soon.
All right, have fun.
Nice
Sweat
to
it
meet you. I'll be back. I'll let you know when that new stuff launches.
We'll connect up. You guys are definitely welcome back.
Thank you.
Bye,
Later.
Scott.
Thomas, good boy.